Alright. Hello everybody, welcome back to Far Cry 5. So we are heading into the final bear battle here. I got Jen and Grace with me because I figured why not. I also have a truck that not only is Jen in the turret, it can also do this. So yeah, we are fucking ready. So I was here once before. I was on the other side of the fence. And there was a roadblock here, but I did clear it out. I just kept throwing C4 over the fence and blowing it up. So I don't know if we'll run into any trouble here, but if we do, well, let's just, that was actually the path we needed. Oh, but if we do, we should be good to go, because Grace can take people out pretty fucking easily. Jen is really good to have, and I did change out most of my weapons. I actually took a new sniper rifle for a change. I switched out my bolt action for a semi-auto. I switched out my sawed-off shotgun for a grenade launcher, and I switched out my rocket launcher for a, wait a minute. Did they just... Aw, really? You took away my help? You motherfuckers. And I switched out my rocket launcher for a regular shotgun. So hopefully, we are well prepared for this fight. It looks like it's not going to be much of one, but... Oh man, I don't even have... I can't fight. I was going to switch out all my ammo before I went into the fight because I wanted to switch to like incendiary shotgun rounds and shit like that, right? But it looks like I'll have to do that on the fly. I don't know why I didn't think of doing it beforehand, but whatever. I don't understand though, if they're going to make a cutscene like this, why even bother to just like evaporate your fucking helpers?
When the Lamb broke the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of the martyrs, slain because of the word of God. You made martyrs of my family, and I'm prepared to do the same to yours. But God is watching us, and He will judge us on what we choose in this moment. I told you that we were living in a world on the brink, where every slight, every injustice, where every choice reveals our sins. And where have those sins led us? Where have those sins led you? Your friends have been taken and tortured, and it's your fault. Countless people have been killed, and it is your fault. The world is on fire, and it's your fault.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Was it worth it? Was it? When are you gonna realize that every problem cannot be solved with a bullet? When you first came here, I gave you the choice to walk away. You chose not to. In the face of God, I'm making you that offer one last time. You put down your guns, and you take your friends. You leave me my flock. And you go in peace.
Go in peace. You're fucking insane.
Is he? We never should have been here in the first place.
You know what to do, Rook. Remember. God is watching. Every slight, every injustice. And every choice reveals our sin. John was wrong. Your sin is not wrath. So you'd rather watch the world suffer and burn than swallow your pride.
Says the guy doing what you do.
Broke the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake. And the sun became black, and the moon turned to blood. Your friends now see the truth. They welcome Eden's Gate into their hearts. They will die for me.
Yeah, but you know what? That doesn't mean that necessarily I have to kill them, you jackass. God, if I can get anywhere that isn't, like, directly here. Fucking Christ. So, now I see why people bitch about the ending of this game. This is fucking stupid. Like, it doesn't matter what you've done. Like, I have fucking cleared the cult from everywhere that I can possibly clear the cult from. And yet he still somehow manages to just get all of my, like, not even just like the people who I was helping, but like literally the people that were with me.
They welcome Eden's Gate into their hearts. They will die for me.
Yeah, whatever. Revive your friend. Oh, so I gotta take them out and then revive them. Okay. I'm switching to piercing ammo. I doubt any of them are actually like armored, but all right, get up.
Fucking hell. Thanks, Rook. Let's get this bastard.
Sorry, Sheriff. I realize that you just got up, but gonna have to put you back down.
You saved my ass.
Fuck you.
Gone, demon. God damn, Rookie. Hold my fat. It will be sweeter now when you all fall.
Yeah, is it though? Fuck you. Go away.
That was crazy. But I don't think it's over yet. Keep on your toes,
I
Rook.
gave you every chance, and you threw it all away.
Let's get these loaded in while I'm here.
Down around us. Don't you see that? Mine is the face of truth.
Oh. Come on, get up. Get up. Ow, ow, ow. Fuck you.
Coming for ya, deputy.
Be gone.
There you go. This is also kind of dumb. Like,
You will feel
like this makes no fucking sense either. I'm shooting my friends to save them. So if they go down, I'm assuming either of us can revive them. Like, it doesn't have to be me that brings them back. Like, he can show up even if it's like... Okay, I probably shouldn't use that right now.
what the fuck. Everything you've done, everything you've earned, everything you fought for is for nothing.
Is it now? Come on, I know I still have more friends to fucking fight here. Oh, God. Fucking Herc. Hell, oh, fuck Christ, stupid gate. Need to get around and take out Herc so that he'll stop fucking firing that goddamn rocket launcher.
I can hear the father's song clearly now.
Honestly, I don't even fucking wanna, like... Ow, 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 ow. No, Herc. Come on, guys. Help me pick these fuckers up. I mean, there's more of us at the moment than there are them. Like, we should be picking these guys up, like, almost immediately as they go down. Oh, who the hell's down over here? You, didn't I just pick you up? It's in here, Jess. God damn it, game. Don't make everything the same fucking thing. Give me back my gun. For the love of God, stop fucking... Oh, hey, Grace. Weird that you were with me and then somehow fucking disappeared. And he's fucking downing them so fucking quickly. Get out of the way! Fucking help!
The hands of many are stronger than a few.
Get up. Alright, Herc, get up. I know I'm being shot, don't care. Get up.
You don't know what you're doing.
I do.
Only I can save you.
Yeah, can you, though?
You believe me.
Fuck you. It's all your fault. Is it, though? I feel like I showed up to arrest you, and then you came with me, and then all of a sudden your cultists took over the entire country, started killing people. Your one brother was kidnapping and torturing them. Your other one was kidnapping and brainwashing them. Your sister was making them kill each other and fucking making them brain dead. Like, yeah, but I'm the bad guy. Sure.
I'm the seventh seal.
There was silence in heaven. And the 7 angels before God were given 7 trumpets. And there were noises, thunderings, lightnings, and an earthquake.
Joseph Seed, you're under arrest.
And I heard a great voice from the temple say to the angels, "Go your ways, and pour from the vials the wrath of God upon the earth." It is finished, child.
Oh my god.
Oh my God! Sing great.
And really, you're still going to take him with you?
We gotta go!
He was right.
Get moving! Drawn!
Sure, we'll outrun a, Oh god, I actually have to drive it.
Jesus fucking Christ, kid. You see this shit? Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, get to the goddamn bunker now!
Yeah, on the way.
We're gonna die. We're gonna die. We're gonna
Nah, we're fine. We've got a whole 2 minutes. I feel like with how close that mushroom cloud looked that we wouldn't actually have 2 minutes, but you know, whatever. I also like how instead of just marking it so that we got like the arrows on the road, they're just gonna keep giving us checkpoints. I mean, what else do you expect me to do besides watch the road? Oh, good, you know, we're driving towards a mushroom cloud. There's also like, unless he somehow did this, there's absolutely no way that he would know that this was gonna happen, right? Like from where he lives and where all of his cultists and that were, like, unless he had somehow got cultists in there to do this, but I feel like, I don't know. Like I said, there was a side mission with the CIA guy that's in these games, where he's like, that, you know, we've got bigger things to worry about than your little cult assholes here or whatever. So, I mean, yeah, there may, like, that may have been alluding to how this game was going to end. But at the same time, if you don't, like, I know for a fact that if you don't arrest him there, like, this is the canon ending that leads into New Dawn. But I know that if you don't arrest him there. When you drive, like, you leave, and there is no nukes. That's fine. I could see the bunker from where we hit, or from where we got stopped. So, I mean, we can still make that. Really?
You know what this means? It means the politicians have been silenced. It means the corporations have been erased. It means the world has been cleansed by God's righteous fire. But most of all, it means I was right. The collapse has come. The world as we know it is over. I waited so long. I waited so long for the prophecy that God whispered in my ear to be fulfilled. I prepared my family for this moment. And you took them from me. I should kill you for what you've done. But you're all I have left now. You're my family. And when the world is ready to be born anew, we will step into the light. I am your father. And you are my child. And together we will march to Eden's gate.
And that's it. All right. So yeah, that was Far Cry 5. I'm just making sure there's no music over the credits. There is not. It was all right. Gameplay-wise, it was fine, right? Like, gameplay-wise, it was a Far Cry game. I have no complaints about it gameplay-wise. Like, the outposts, they were good. The side missions, the prepper stashes were great. I loved those. I mean, some of them were obviously very shit. But, I mean, there was a lot of them, and there was way more good ones than bad ones. And even then, I don't think there was any that were, like, really shit. I think there was just some that were kind of you know? But, yeah, the outposts were all good. They were all, I mean, they were outposts, right? Like, what can you do? I mean, it's hard to fuck those up when they've had them in how many games now? They've got it nailed down. As for, like, the actual story, like I said before, John's region and the story involved with all that was great. You got kidnapped the least amount of times in that. The whole kidnapping thing, was a little much overall throughout the game. Like, that's how they progressed the story. Like, you don't even need to do the story missions. You just need to get kidnapped repeatedly. It's one of those things where I understand why they did it, because then you don't have to do the story missions to progress. If you don't want to do the story missions, you don't have to. But if you're somebody like me who wants to do the story missions and do the side content, you reach the end of those regions way too fast. Like, Faith's region there, when I was done, like, I think I showed on the map when we beat her, right? And like, I had so much left to do there. And that was just from doing mainly, like, I hadn't done very many side stuff, right? And then, like, obviously in the other regions, we reached the end with story missions left because I, was doing the side stuff in between. So I wish that there was some way that they could have changed that. I don't know how they would have. There would have to be an option, basically, where it's like, hey, do you want this to just be based on resistance points, or do you want it to be based on story missions? I would have went with story missions, right? Because, like, the kidnappings would have made more sense if they were based on the story missions, because then the game could determine where you were. Like, you could get kidnapped, like, you could do a story mission and be like, oh, mission complete, boom, and then you're kidnapped, right? And it would have made more sense. The fact that you were just running around and then got kidnapped, I think, is what made it worse. Because, like, I know everybody complained about the kidnapping things, but that's because a lot of times when you get kidnapped, especially outside of John's region, it doesn't make sense. Like I said before, in John's region, you had the guys who came after you, and you actually had to get shot. If you managed to take them out without getting shot, very hard to do, but technically possible, or you can just hide in a base like I did and have everybody else fight them. That made sense. But when you're in Jacob's region and you're flying a fighter plane over the sky and all of a sudden you get an arrow in the leg and get kidnapped, it's like there's only so much disbelief that you can suspend, right? And then same in Faith's region, you can be flying a helicopter plane or whatever, and then she just appears in front of you and blows shit in your face. It's like, it doesn't make sense, right? So if they had tied it in with story missions, now granted, there are obviously story missions where you can complete it with a plane, with a helicopter or whatever. But I mean, it wouldn't have bothered me because I didn't really do that unless they specifically made me get into one. So I feel like that would have been a better way to do it. That's more or less how they did it in the past, right? Is you did the story missions and, it progressed the story. Whereas in here, the story missions, they were just side missions with more important characters. Like, that was it. Like, the story missions weren't actual story missions. And then, yeah, as for, like I said, John's region was fine. Jacob's region, his whole brainwashing thing, it needed to be done better. The fact that they knew about the brainwashing and that they had the deprogramming tape and that you kept going missing, and they were commenting that you were going missing, but they never made you run through the deprogramming, didn't make sense. Like I said, his fucking archers that could hit you anywhere, that was fine. Once again, it would have made more sense if they did them like at the end of missions or even during story missions, right? Where it's like, hey, go and do this, and like on your way there, you get taken. And then running through then obviously gameplay wise for that, the whole running through the same mission over and over, it is supposed to be brainwashing. Like I said, I'm half tempted to go back through Jacob's region. And in fact, I might do that because I do have to do a new game plus and see if you make it to like when you're at the final part, because the whole point is that he's brainwashing you so that you'll go into the bunker and you'll kill the main guy of whatever the fuck the militia was called, the Whitetail Militia, right? Which means that at the end of that final brainwashing thing, if you're standing in front of the final guy and you don't shoot, like you're standing in front of him in the bunker, if you don't shoot, the game should take that into account. Will it? I doubt it. I'll probably end up, like I said, I'll try it on my new game plus playthrough and we'll see. Odds are it's just going to be a massive disappointment. It's just going to fail the mission. I'm going to have to go through the whole thing another time. The boss fights, the bosses were really bullet spongy. Except for John, obviously, because you just take him down in the plane. But like Jacob's was really bullet spongy. I feel like Jacob's would have been better without the ads. Faith's would have been better just if she didn't take as much damage as she did. Like the whole like summoning other guys, that's fine. They went in one hit. The whole clones, that was cool. Like her fight was cool. It just went on for too long, you know. And then as for like your guys constantly getting kidnapped from you, it makes sense when they get them at the beginning of the game. But like at the end of the game, when all of a sudden they're just all there and under his control, that makes zero sense. There's no setup for it. There's no build up to it. You've rescued everyone. You put them in as good a position as they can possibly be in. And then all of a sudden they're taken from you. It's like zero sense is made. And then for Faith's region, obviously, like I said, her boss fight was fine. The drug stuff was eh. And like, the fact that hers were just cutscenes made them made them better than Jacob's, but they weren't all that interesting. So, you know, there is that, obviously. And like the final time that she does it to you and like you're seeing shit because it's all supposed to be hallucinations, but you're actually moving around the map. You're actually doing stuff during them. And like when she shows you the marshal killing the teacher guy. I think it was teacher, principal. I don't know, whatever. Killing the one guy and then killing himself. But it's an hallucination. But she has no way of controlling. Like should be no way for her to control that. That would be more brainwashing stuff, right? And like once again, they know what the bliss does to them. And even though that the marshal was like, no, don't give me that. I can come out of it just fine. They still should have done it, right? Like they still should have gave him the injection that would clear it out of his system better. So once again, like a lot of the story couldn't progress if the people that were with you, the resistance that you were helping weren't complete and utter idiots. As for like the ending, like I said, the other ending that I'm not going to show you because I'd have to go back and redo that is when if you walk away from at the end, instead of the fight, you get into a truck with the people you rescued, driving down the road. And the song that Jacob played to brainwash you and make you go, Rage Monster, plays on the radio. And your screen goes red and then that's it. And it's implied that you then went nuts and killed your friends. Now, once again, that doesn't make sense because after everything that Jacob did, they would still need to deprogram you because you still would have your memories of how he programmed you with the song. Maybe, I don't know. I don't actually know if brainwashing works quite to that degree. The fact that we saw it means that we had the memories of how he brainwashed you, but, you know, obviously you might not, but at the same time, if you didn't, then what would be the point of him talking? But then again, he would have to talk to brainwash you. So I don't know. You'd have to do research on brainwashing and hope you don't get flagged by the government, for your search history. But yeah, so but this ending here that we got, that's the canon ending. That's what leads into New Dawn. It's still not a good ending. I didn't like it. There's still no reason. Like I said before, I have this issue with a lot of like movies, video games that like you kill like everybody that we killed leading up to this. And then we get to him, the main bad guy, the guy who set everything in motion, the guy with all the influence, with all the charisma, I guess, to put this kind of like this massive amount of movement in motion, and him we arrest. Everybody else we killed, but we'll arrest him. He should be the one out of everyone that dies. End of story. He needs to be the one who dies, especially since we've taken out everyone else already. Just kill him. There's no reason to keep him alive. Fucking murder his ass right there. And then the fact that you end up kidnapped in the bunker. Now, how Dutch wasn't prepared for him coming down there, I don't know. And now, granted, my ending, the way it happened, it seemed a little bit creepier to me than I imagined it would have, but that was mainly because I was playing as a female character. If I had been playing as a male character, yes, it still would have been creepy, but I feel like it wouldn't have been as creepy. Because I feel like there might have been a little bit less implied rape in it. Less, not necessarily none, but I feel like there would have been less. But, you know, that's neither here nor there because, you know, I don't know. So I will end up going through the DLC next, obviously. And at some point in the future, I'll see how much New Dawn is once we get close to getting through all the DLC. And if it's not that much, I'll buy it and we'll go right into it from the DLC. Because the thing that I want to see about New Dawn, more than anything, is how they explain it, right? I'm hoping that there's more explanation as to how he knew that this was going to happen. why the government was ignoring such a large, basically military operation going on within their own country, which they obviously knew about because the CIA guy said they did, and that they, you know, so like they knew about it. They knew this was going on. So if they knew this was going on and the cult knew that the bombs were going off, that would suggest some kind of connection there. But if the cult set off, or if the cult had infiltrated the government and had somehow managed to get the bombs set, granted, none of the cultists seemed smart enough to do that, that we ran into, unless there was like another brother or sister that was actually smart enough to go and do it. So I'm interested to see how that turns out, because I know that Eden's Gate is still a faction in Far Cry New Dawn. I don't know if they're a good faction, bad faction, not sure, don't know, haven't looked into it that much. I'd rather go into it as blind as I can, right? So I'm interested to see how that plays out, because since Eden's Gate is still there, that means that they are going to, like, because I think it's the same map as well, obvious, except for, you know, obviously a little bit different because the nukes and everything. I also know that's a way more colorful game than this one. It's more like Far Cry 4 was to 3, right? Like 3 wasn't necessarily a dark game, but 4 was definitely more colorful. Same with New Dawn. Like this game, not necessarily a dark game, but New Dawn, way more colorful. So since Eden's Gate is there, I'm hoping that they're going to explain more of what happened in this game, because there's very little explained, right? Like, it makes no sense that he knew about it. But if he did know about it, getting all the bunkers and that set up, that makes sense. Getting everything else, that makes sense. Convincing people to join him, that's just a regular cult thing. I mean, it doesn't make sense, but at the same time, it is a thing that happens in real life, pretty much how it's shown here. So, I mean, you know, it does, I guess, make sense. But if his ultimate goal was to save people, he went about it in a very stupid way. Like, I hope that they explain more about what exactly it was he was hoping to accomplish with this. Because, like, he had the bunker set up. He had a huge following. They could have survived this perfectly fine. And, like, if he wanted to convince other people that this was going to happen and bring them to his cause, kidnapping and murder and destruction and locking down like fucking martial law, not the way to do it. And he seemed like a smart enough guy to know that that's not the way to do it. Granted, with the little bit of time that you were in Dunch's bunker, look at how much the cult got done. They built the shrines because apparently they weren't there before. They managed to kidnap everyone, take over every important outpost, every important building. There's apparently a fucking billion people living in this fucking city, in this, Hope County, in this fucking county, and all of them were working for him. Like, the story wasn't necessarily bad, but a story like this doesn't work on an open world game because the scale of everything is too big for Insane Cult to actually manage to do what they did, right? So like Insane Cult doing this stuff, fine. Open world game with the gameplay they had, fine. Put those two together, not fine. You would need a more concentrated, story-based, level-based game for this actual story to actually make sense. So that's probably doesn't help. But like I said, overall it was fine. Hopefully the DLC is good as well. The DLC has nothing at all to do with the main game at all. There's a Mars one, a zombie one. I think there's another one. As far as I know, none of them have anything to do with it. So I am looking forward to those. I'm not quite sure which one I'll start with. I'll see once, you'll see on Thursday. But yeah, so that's been Far Cry 5. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you on Thursday for the first part of one of the DLCs.